Over 24 million Americans are on Obamacare, and Republicans want to raise their health care premiums by 75%. Due to this, Democrats will not pass a spending bill because Republicans are looking forward to the cuts on health care spending. If this bill were to pass, many people would lose their medical coverage, and everybody else would be paying 75% more than they pay now for their premiums. However, when you hear any MAGA leader talk about this, they fail to mention that fact. As a matter of fact, JD Vance got on video and said, Democrats want to give $1.5 trillion to illegal immigrants. Illegal immigrants are not eligible for Obamacare, otherwise known as the Affordable Care Act. But that didn't stop the MAGA leader from lying to you. It didn't stop any of them from lying to you. Let's take a look at what JD Vance had to say about this.
Had a very frank conversation with the Senate and House Democratic leadership. Look, the principle at stake here is very simple. We have disagreements about tax policy, but you don't shut that government down. We have disagreements about health care policy, but you don't shut the government down. You don't use your policy disagreements as leverage to not pay our troops, to not have essential services of government actually function. You don't say the fact that you disagree about a particular tax provision is an excuse for shutting down the people's government and all the essential services that come along with it. If you look at what Chuck Schumer has said in the past consistently, it's whatever our disagreements are, let's negotiate with them, let's talk about them, let's figure out a bipartisan solution, but you don't shut the government down. In other words, you don't put a gun to the American people's head and say, unless you do exactly what Senate and House Democrats want you to do, we're going to shut down your government. That's exactly what they're proposing out there.
It's so weird how they always confess exactly what they're doing and try to pin it on somebody else doing. While they try to take away American health coverage, he literally confesses exactly what MAGA is doing, because we know their tactics by now. Deny, defend, deflect. Just remember that everything he's accusing Democrats of doing is a confession of what he and all of his constituents are doing. Let's continue.
Now we have to remember, they're very frustrated. They say that they're very frustrated about the fact that this negotiation has not taken place until today. But if you look at the original thing they did with this negotiation, it was a $1.5 trillion spending package, basically saying to the American people, we want to give massive amounts of money, hundreds of billions of dollars to illegal aliens for their health care, while Americans are struggling to pay their health care bills. That was their initial foray into this negotiation. We thought it was absurd. We told them it was absurd, and now they come in here saying that if you don't give us everything that we want, we're going to shut down the government. We think that's preposterous. We think it's totally unacceptable, and we think the American people are going to suffer because these guys won't do the right thing. Now,
he is blindly lying to MAGA and the rest of America as he tries to take away your health coverage. He instead comes on camera and blatantly lies to the uneducated, because anybody educated watching this knows that he is a liar. He's lying about everything, but he has to feed into the desires of MAGA. There has to be a demon. There has to be a common enemy coming for them. Keep them angry, hateful, and distracted while we pick their pockets and say the Democrats are doing it, who aren't even in power. Let's continue.
I want to make one final point here. You will hear a lot from Senate Democrats, from House Democrats about the fact that American healthcare policy is broken. Well, we know that American healthcare policy is broken. We've been trying to fix it for the 8 months that we've been in office, but every single thing that they accuse about being broken about American healthcare is policy the Democrats have supported for the past decade. So if they want to talk about how to fix American healthcare policy, let's do it. The Speaker would love to do it. The Senate Majority Leader would love to do it. Let's work on it together, but let's do it in the context of an open government that's providing essential services to the American people. That's all that we're proposing to do, and the fact that they refuse to do that shows how unreasonable their position is. I think we're headed to a shutdown because the Democrats won't do the right thing. I hope they change their mind, but we're going to see.
Didn't Trump cut Medicaid? I find it funny how Trump's big ugly bill cut $1 trillion in Medicaid already, and how over 12 million people are already projected to lose coverage under Medicaid as a result of Trump's bill. And them knowing that MAGA doesn't know that this applies to them, they have no idea how badly this is going to affect them. And then JD Vance gets on camera and says, we're working on improving your medical coverage. And every state has a different name for Medicaid, so they have no idea they're even on Medicaid. I mean, take a look at these Medicaid program names. Denali Care, Healthcare, Medi-Cal, Health First Colorado, Arizona Healthcare Cost Containment System. MAGA has no idea their pockets are being picked by the exact same person telling them, I'm trying to stop other people from picking your pockets. Healthy Louisiana, Maine Care, Medical Assistance. This is all Medicaid, by the way. But strangely, it's not illegal to lie to the American citizens, and they are fully using it to their furthest advantage. This helps nobody. This is good for nobody except for the rich and powerful. It's not even about being MAGA or anything right now. These people are out of their minds. My question to MAGA again is, how many times do they have to show you they do not care about you? They won't even tell you the truth. And I could understand it a little bit more if they just had the news stations lie for them, which is still completely out of pocket, but direct words from the vice president himself, direct words from the president himself and everybody that works for him, it's unacceptable. It's disgusting. They pick your pockets and tell you to be mad at Hispanic people. They pick your pockets and tell you to be scared of trans people, Muslims, black people. When the biggest danger to your sovereignty is the ones in positions of power lying to your face every single day, trying to keep you angry and brainwashed. You fighting somebody else is a good thing for them. And if it wasn't, why is this precedent being set by the vice president of the United States? I used to see MAGA comments and I thought they were all pretending to be dumb. But no, it's their leaders pretending to be dumb, misleading them to where MAGA actually accepts this inaccurate information as their new reality and keeps them uneducated. Tell me why Trump City loves the uneducated and all these MAGA leaders are saying not to send your children to college, calling them what, indoctrination centers? Yet they're sending all of their kids to college. Why is that? Why are all of their children college educated except for you? Why are the most powerful people you know college educated except for you? That's because if you can't think critically, you are easy to control. This is not a message saying college is for everybody. It clearly is not. But for a leader of the country to tell you it's bad for you, when college grads statistically make more than high school grads, how is this not an agenda and propaganda that is in their best interest and your worst interest? Now, while millions of Americans lose health coverage, Donald Trump is posting more AI videos on Truth Social. People are losing their jobs as Trump threatens to fire more federal employees if the government shuts down. Like, how are you going to pin firing people on the Democrats? Trump is posting memes online from his mansion with his net worth that has tripled in size in the past 8 months as his son gets on TV and says, we haven't profited at all from the presidency. They lie to you at every corner when the facts are right in front of your face. Let's take a look at Trump's AI video of the day.
Look, guys, there's no way to sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bullshit. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us. So we need new voters. If we give all these illegal aliens free health care, we might be able to get them on our side so they can vote for us. They can't even speak English. They won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces of shit until they learn English and they realize they hate us too. Look, guys.
What type of president talks like this? Is laughing over liberal tears worth losing everything? Is a president posting AI and your imaginary enemies worth you losing everything? I mean, try to help me understand. MAGA, what is the appeal? You understand the last government shutdown we had was also under Trump in 2018, and so was the 2 government shutdowns before that. Yet somehow it's the Democrats' fault. Let's take a look at the video of Donald Trump's son blatantly lying as they triple their family net worth, and him telling people Donald Trump is the first president to not make a cent off of his presidency as they sell you crypto meme coins.
Between the president and his position and his family being able to do so well in crypto.
Yeah. Joe, how long have I been sitting at this table? Like 20-something years, meaning I've been doing this with you guys for a very long time.
Yep.
You know, we're far from Hunter Biden, right? The guys out there selling.
That's what people are. Right. People say all presidents' sons do these things.
Okay. The guys out there selling finger art, right? You know, I've run one of the great hospitality companies, you know, anywhere in the world. You know, we went through hell. Believe me, my father's the first guy who hasn't made money off of the presidency. In fact, you know, if I were to send you a tally of our legal bills over the last
and the brand,
X number of
the Trump
years.
brand probably got
Listen,
obviously.
we've always been, you know, serial capitalists. We've always had companies, and honestly, crypto came out of a necessity that we were debanked by everybody, and we needed to find a new way. And so I couldn't be more proud of American Bitcoin. We're obviously ringing the bell right in this room, and you know, a couple minutes, and you know, it's going to be an amazing venture. I think we're going to do Bitcoin. I think we're going to do cryptocurrency better than anyone. We've truly built one of the great companies.
Meanwhile, Trump's average net worth of about 2.5 billion went all the way up to 7.5 billion, and it hasn't even been a year yet, right under his presidency. But he hasn't made $1, not a single meme coin. No, Trump's not focused on making money. Instead, he's focused on breaking the Constitution once again. He's interfering with elections and using bribery and extortion to get Mamdani to do what he wants. Let's take a look at what he said. Self-proclaimed New York City communist Zohran Mamdani, who is running for mayor, will prove to be one of the best things to ever happen to our great Republican Party. He is going to have problems with Washington like no mayor in the history of our once again great city. Remember, he needs the money from me as president in order to fulfill his fake communist promises. He won't be getting any of it. So what's the point of voting for him? This ideology has failed always for thousands of years. It will fail again, and that's guaranteed. Dictator Donald J. Trump. Now let's take a look at the specific federal laws Trump just broke. Election interference bars federal officials from using official authority to interfere with or affect the nomination or election of candidates. Bribery/extortion could be argued if funds were used as leverage to coerce political outcomes. Civil rights violations, retaliating against voters or cities for election choices. And apparently it violates a whole bunch of constitutional clauses that are impeachable. However, as Gavin Newsom stated, Republicans are trying to consolidate power and have complete control of the House, Senate, and White House. So maybe he's not scared of being impeached, because those that work for him are worried about the consequences of what happens when you try to go against Trump, because they know what his big political machine looks like because they're part of it. They continue to the destruction of America every single day. The misinformation and disinformation that has destroyed us and separated communities and divided all of us. And in response to Donald Trump violating the Constitution because Mamdani is on his way to become the mayor of New York, here's what Mamdani had to respond to Trump after his post.
Last time you were on this program, you were unequivocal in saying you do not like capitalism. But Trump, just in those remarks there, I counted, called you a communist 8 times. Are you?
No. I'm a democratic socialist. I've said that time and again, and I think it reflects the fact that whereas that identity would have been enough for Donald Trump in the past, now he doesn't even want to use that because he knows that the message of my politics is one that is connecting with New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs. It's a message of dignity in each and every person's life. And what we're seeing in these clips and what we're seeing in what Donald Trump says is he's going through the many stages of grief. First, it's denial that this could ever take place. Now it's acceptance, and still through it all, he is looking to use every tool at his disposal to help Andrew Cuomo become the next mayor of the city.
What a professional response that I would expect from a political official. I wonder what America would be like if all of our officials had this type of rhetoric and discourse as to why they are perfect for the job. Instead of J.D. Vance, who changed his name 3 times, called Trump the Antichrist and a god to MAGA that they all look up to, called Trump disgusting, said he's a never Trump guy. Here he is now working for Trump and lying to the American citizens on a day-to-day basis. America is in chaos right now because the people filling leadership positions are clowns. I also want to let you know that the shooter from Michigan, who was clearly wearing a Make Liberals Cry Trump 2020 shirt, MAGA has now photoshopped that out of his shirt and is saying this is the real photo. Once again, Trump gives the command and all of his constituents parrot it immediately. If Trump says to lie on command, this is what they lie about. I wouldn't be surprised if behind the scenes, Trump tells all of his minions, no matter what, just agree with what each other say and we can never be broken. As long as we validate each other's lies and back each other up on the disgusting things we do that should be called out so we can develop and get better as leaders, just validate them and parrot them. Because here's Mike Johnson also trying to blame the government shutdown coming on Democrats who are actively working behind the scenes to help Americans keep their medical rights.
Counterproposal, what Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are demanding is that they claw back the $50 billion that we put into the rural hospital support structure. They want to take that back. We're not going to do that. We passed that because we have to allow for that. Also, if they shut the government down, not only are troops unpaid, federal workers, and all the services that everybody relies upon, but the WIC program, the nutrition program, women, infant, and children, they will not get that program, will not be funded. FEMA won't be funded. We have hurricanes off the coast of the United States right now. This is serious business. You have telehealth, you have mental health services, all that's funded by the government would stop if Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries and the Democrats have their way. The Democrat shutdown would be damaging for the country. We can't allow for it.
If that's true, Mike Johnson, then extend the tax credits for the Affordable Care Act, otherwise known as Obamacare. Help keep 24 million Americans medically covered instead of raising their premiums by 75% and kicking millions off as a whole, because many of these people will die without this health coverage. And while you're doing that, release the Epstein files. I want to make it crystal clear that when the government shuts down yet again under Trump for the 4th time, it will be again Donald Trump's fault, because the last government shutdown we had before Trump's shutdowns back in 2018 was 2013, 12 years ago. Donald Trump said himself in an interview that if the government shuts down, it's on the president, and that is a weak president. And here we are again under Trump for the 4th time. They want to remove your medical care coverage. If you're rich, then I guess it's something you don't have to worry about. But if you care about other people, then it definitely is something you have to worry about. But again, once Donald Trump gives the command to the rest of MAGA to parrot him, that's exactly what they do. He actually admitted that in this Fox interview.
How does President Trump deal with the government?
Well, we have to get Republican votes, that's all. If we do, we have the majority, so we have to get...
But don't you have to get 60, don't you?
No, we will get it through because the Republicans are sticking together for the first time in a long time.
I think you could very well end up with a closed country for a period of time. They're going to be a government shutdown?
Could be, yeah.
If it has to shut down, it'll have to shut down.
Freudian slip. Republicans are sticking together like never before. That's their entire plan. That's why they're defending a PDF. This is nepotism, and this is the rich versus the poor. They stick together and laugh at MAGA while MAGA defends them in their house that needs a $10,000 roofing job that they can no longer fund because they donated that money to the woman that called a 5-year-old boy a racial slur. I mean, this guy is out of his mind. Now, wasn't Trump supposed to create American jobs? Because if that's the case, then why did he fire over 300,000 federal workers, 80K VA workers, 60,000 DOD workers, 50,000 IRS workers? I know many people that work for the IRS, for the government, that no longer work for the IRS. And the list goes on. And to the ones they didn't count as fired, there was over 100,000 that resigned because they were getting threatened with being fired. And it looks better to say you quit than have been fired. They were actually offered temporary amounts of money to leave because they were going to get fired either way. And maybe the Trump would look less worse if people just quit on their own. And you know he hates accurate numbers. Economy's good, there's more American jobs than ever. Meanwhile, people with master's degrees can't find work for months. I mean, they elected someone who was born into wealth and nepotism, baby. And they really thought he was going to be able to relate to them. How else can we expect someone who was born into wealth to be able to relate to someone who never had it? Never in my life did I think we would see a day where America would willingly elect a billionaire twice because their hatred was louder than their freedom. And lastly, release the Epstein files, Donald Trump. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please make sure to have a great day. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time.